welcome to session 2 of Lavender Valley Hearts of Wulin. And we have our full cast here today. I'm Katie. This is my channel. We can go around and introduce ourselves and give everyone our pronouns, and then I'm going to turn it over to Matthias. So, I'm Katie. I go by she, her. Kika?
Hey, I'm Kika. I go by she, her.
Kiana?
Hey, I'm Kiana. I also go by she, her.
Starliday?
I'm Starliday. I go by she, her.
And Matthias.
Unmute. Hi, I'm Matthias. I use he, him. And yeah, welcome to a second session of Hearts of Wulin. I think we'll do for anybody who wasn't here last time, Hearts of Wulin is a Powered by the Apocalypse game that is all about wushu melodrama. So all the player characters are of the Wulin world. They're all in some way or shape or form these wondrous martial artists who can do incredible things, even if they don't see themselves like that. Like we have at least one of those in this group. Yeah. So what happened last time? Oh yeah, we have safety tools. I shouldn't forget that. We have lines and veils set up, and we're using the X card, the N card, the O card. We even have like little buttons for those, though mostly they serve me as a reminder mostly, and like typing them in or using them on screen or just saying them out loud is just as fine, right? The X card is for when we come, like when one of us comes across content where they're like, no, that's not what I feel comfortable with. We can use the X card to basically remove that, back up a bit and take a different direction. And no explanation needed. The N card is, should we be approaching something that's of a sensitive subject matter, we can use that to let the others know, hey, maybe let's tread more carefully here, slow down things a bit. And the O card is basically, yes, no, this is like intense territory, but we want to be there, we want to go there, and can both be used as a query and as an affirmative to continue with that. Yeah. And I think we're all on board with that, right? Getting affirmative consent to that is also important, I think. So what actually happened last time? Oh, wait, one step before that. So, getting ahead of myself tonight. The game does have an agenda, and I think I want to use that to introduce the characters we already know, then do the recap, and then we'll get to meet Kiana's character, which we haven't seen yet. So the game's agenda is to embrace sincerity, speak obliquely about the heart, play with everyone's entanglements, and act in the service of something greater. That's the aim of all of us as players in this game. And then each of you has another another point in the agenda that's unique to your characters. So if you want to give like a quick what your character's name is, what their deal is, and what their fifth agenda item is. Oh, I just realized that might not be on the actual keeper, right? Or is it?
The agendas for the playbooks are on the playbook page.
Yeah, exactly. And they're unique and the last line of those. Then let's let the others find those. Maybe Katie, you want to start?
Yeah, I can. So I'm playing Chao Sung, and I am playing my role as devoted child. Basically, she is like a very devoted student to the Purity Sword sect. And my agenda is embrace sincerity, speak obliquely about the heart, play with everyone's entanglements, act in the service of something greater, express tension between duty and self.
And Kika, how about your character?
I'm playing Northwind Ling. My role is trickster. She is kind of like she's like a kung fu hobo, and it's very fun. What was the last thing? Sorry.
The last thing is if you have the spreadsheet open with our characters,
Yeah.
there's the tab with the playbooks, and there's a player agenda, and the last thing is unique for everyone there.
Oh,
so
okay. So, yeah, sorry about that.
that's fine.
What was that? Yeah. My player agenda is embrace sincerity, speak obliquely about the heart, play with everyone's entanglements, act in service of something greater, and act against convention.
And Star?
My character's name is Perfect Mist, and I'm playing an accidental character, which means I have no idea I can actually do martial arts. And my player agenda is embrace sincerity, speak obliquely about the heart, play with everyone's entanglements, act in service of something greater, and conceal your truth. Is my cat opening the door? He is not wanting me to play today.
Well, the stream is now blessed, so that's a good thing. All right, so what actually happened last time? I think we had Chao Sung and no, wrong. We had I've written this down. Yeah, we had Northwind Ling and Perfect Mist traveling together and coming up upon the toll house for a bridge, which was already clogged up from traffic. And using that as a place to actually take a rest and have some food at that outdoor tavern, the both of them sat down, and I think it was then that Chao Sung approached them, meeting her old friends. That's kind of the relationship you have, right? But Chao Sung had some news. You actually had the invitation to Yin's engagement, and that's something you had to that news you wanted to bring to Northwind Ling. While Northwind Ling wanted to inform you that your master, Shadowed Saber, had betrayed you. And I think all of that kind of distracted you both, and Perfect Mist so much that you got all wrapped up in a debate or discussion of some kind and didn't even notice that normal folk were quietly leaving as a bunch of books surrounded all of you. And that's when a fight broke out. A fight that was well, it was a fight of some kind, because I think it was actually Perfect Mist who defeated the entire group of mooks, more by accident and by help of her dog called Dog. And as that chaos ensued, it was Northwind Ling who defeated the actual leader of this group, but on the side, it was someone used that opportunity to kidnap Chao Sung, and Chao Sung was drugged probably, and brought down to the river and shipped off. Like Northwind Ling went in pursuit, but I think you found out in the end that it must be her master. No, who was actually kidnapping?
She found out. She saw the markings of the 100 ghosts, and then at the end, my hood was taken off, and I saw that it was my master.
Yes,
that's what happened.
So that is what's going on there.
Yeah.
Now, before we get into everything any deeper, a little bit of bookkeeping. We forgot to do XP last time, which happens sometimes. But if for the first entanglement that you all engaged with everybody basically did, you get 2 XP. And if you can tell me if you actually also engaged your other entanglement, it doesn't matter which one, you get another XP. Anybody get a wants to make the case to? Yeah,
I got a third one because of mechanics.
Oh yeah, you did. You got one during the game. Yeah.
Yeah.
So the basic way is to get XP is to engage the entanglements, or to get in fights and then be merciful and stuff like that.
Always merciful.
Yeah. All right, and the other part or point was, I think that was it. Now, let's meet your character. So the basic character creation is on the CC tabs down below in the spreadsheet. And basically 1 through 4 are the steps that you can basically do yourself. I think you have done most of those already, so we could go over them quickly. So look and name. What did you choose? And you already chose a playbook, right?
Indeed. So my character's name is Yuknan, and she is a student, wandering monk. Her look, lustrous hair, burning eyes, gentle face, tan skin, unassuming, and temple clothes.
Nice. And then you chose your stat array, which those are called chi in this game. Quickly, just to explain how stats work in this game, you get to choose which stat to use when you roll. So unlike other games where it says like when you do X, roll plus a specific stat, this is mostly when you roll, when it says roll, you get to choose which stat or which chi. And the idea is you can let this be informed by what the 5 Gs, earth, fire, metal, water, and wood stand for, which is noted on the sheets. So if you're like, well, I'm being very cautious as I'm looking out for traps here, then you're probably using earth. The only stat the exception to this is when you're fighting. When you're fighting, is you'll always use your specific element of your fighting style. So that's a choice that you get to make. You get to name your style, which I see you have. Do you want to tell us?
Yes, the style name is Bamboo Sparrow.
Nice. And what do you think which element goes with that?
I'm debating between them right now, between water and wood. It's flying between those two in my head right now.
And so maybe like so we don't have actually hit points in this game. What happens is the equivalent to that is that you can get your cheese marked, and when they're marked, you can't use them. Right? So there's an idea here. Of course, you might be, yes, I want to have like my highest stat be the one that's my fighting stat, but if that's marked, then you can't actually fight anymore. So you can think about this in different ways. If you want it to be like, well, my character is actually mostly doing, like, I want them to be doing stuff outside of fighting. And maybe that's, you don't want to put your highest stat in as your fighting stat. And the way I always interpret this is also like a little bit different. And this might be like, so when you have a high level in a stat, that tells me, oh, when you engage in this way, you are more likely to succeed. It doesn't necessarily say you're more likely that it's that descriptive, right? So that's a different way of looking at it, I feel. So you could be playing like someone who wants to fight a lot, but actually give yourself the minus stat because you want to play someone who fights a lot and loses a lot. It doesn't necessarily mean in fiction that they're a bad fighter. It's just that that's what you want to go for narratively. So it's a way of looking at things. Yeah. Then you also get to choose what your this is mostly flavor. You can fight with anything. You can fight with anything well, but what's like your signature weapon, basically?
It would be a staff. Looks like a walking stick normally.
Nice. And then we get to the really fun bit, and that's entanglements. So maybe let's review all the other people's entanglements first to see where we're at with those. Chaosung, do you have yours?
If I can unmute myself, yes. So mine are, I love men, and we said that Min is another student in the Purity Sword sect, but he's like very flamboyant and over the top and plays music, is like an artist. I love men who I overlooked for too long. Now they love Perfect Mist. And then my friend Northwind Ling suspects Shadow Saber, my mentor, of evil, but I remain steadfastly loyal. Those are mine.
And Northwind.
Yeah, Northwindling is like a dirty early 20-year-olds traveler looking character with a spear. She's got long disheveled black hair, and her entanglements are I love Ying, but their sibling Yu considers me beneath them. And the second one is I've learned my friend Chao Sung has been betrayed by their teacher, Shadowed Saber, but they will never believe me.
And Perfect Mist, your entanglements.
My entanglements, I humiliated myself in front of Kiana's character, whose name I can't spell or pronounce, who I desire, and Northwind will let no one forget about it. And my second one is I rejected you, and now they have sworn vengeance against me and my friend Northwind.
So basically, and I'm going to just say this, it's actually General Yu, who's the older brother to Yi. And General Yu has sworn vengeance against Perfect Mist and her friends, and looks down upon Northwind Ling. So that's the situation, and is obviously the one orchestrating this arranged marriage thing for Yi. So yeah. So now let's hear about Yoknan's entanglements. What do you think you're going for? And yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, and I didn't say this. The entanglements, right on the entanglements page, they have 3 for the general and 3 for the romantic ones, which are basically the suggestions. You could go with any other, though, so that's not a problem if you found any other.
So I have 2, and I still need to fill in the names, but I really like the blank advised me not to pursue blank, but secretly root them for romantic. And then for the general, my teacher blank had passed me over in favor of blank, my rival. So I'm going to try to figure out who to fill in.
So someone advised you not to pursue someone else.
Mm-hmm. But I did it anyways.
Yep.
Yeah. Complex love polyhedrals.
The best thing.
Thank you for coining that fact. Yeah, so I'm trying to figure out, because I feel like I want to try to pull this into what we already have as well. Whew. Yeah, someone. Who did I pursue? Oh, I pursued you, and I did it anyways. Even after being told, don't do it.
Oh, General Yu?
Yep.
Nice. Okay. Yes, I love this.
This is becoming a polyhedral.
Yep, and I don't know who warned me against that. Probably one of you guys. It's like, don't do it.
Don't do it because I love you.
No, yeah.
I love this. Who wanted to be the one to advise this traveling monk not to do this?
I feel like Chao Sung would tell you, like, leave that alone. Don't that they're causing problems for our friends. Just let that go.
All of us told you not to do it.
Yeah, it's like a group effort. Don't
Yeah.
do it. All of my friends advised me not to pursue.
But I did it anyway.
I did it anyway.
That guy's a jerk.
Oh, okay. So because right, the sentence could be read two different ways, I feel. So it was Yognan who did it anyway, right? That's how you say it. Good. So that means and you were successful, right?
It would have meant I was successful.
Yeah. So your general use lover now? Is that thing? Or is this something more official?
I think it's a little more superficial.
Superficial, okay.
It's just, I'm a traveling monk. I'm not really supposed to have romantic like attachments. I'm supposed to go out and learn about the world. I'm not supposed to, get involved with politics.
Okay, so but he obviously was receptive to it.
Right. So
Yeah.
it was just kind of like it's I don't want to say friends with benefits, but
What if he's doing stuff with you just as a way to get back at Perfect Mist?
you know what? That totally could be possible. Ouch.
I mean,
Just saying.
it doesn't mean that it wasn't a fun time.
No, yeah, it was totally good and everything. It was just it's very casual. I
Two
think.
consenting adults. It was fine.
Nice.
Just
Well,
casually put all my friends.
Yeah, every
Like,
single person I know.
that don't go for this guy. And I did it anyway.
Did it
I love
anyway.
this, yeah, and it does tell me a lot about General Yu, who we haven't really seen on screen yet, so that's a good thing to.
Cool.
And your other entanglement, which is more a general one.
Mhm.
More about.
So my teacher, I will come up with a name, had passed me over in favor of blank my rival. So someone within this web is going to be my rival. It's the hardest part of this is the fact that it is she is a monk and she's from a temple, so there has to be that tie-in.
Well, we do have. I have a suggestion if you want to go with that.
Yeah.
So, because we also have Perfect Mist has this move which is called shadow boxing. A secret group or order aids you. You may not be aware of the assistance. Once per session, you can flash back to some preparation, interference, or negotiation they've done on your behalf. Describe it and roll. Perfect Mist is also of the Yun clan, who was destroyed 15 years ago. So maybe that could be the one who your master passed you over for, and that would tell us a little bit of who's the order in the behind Perfect Mist. If you both feel that sounds cool.
I'd be fine with that. You're in love with me, but I think you're my rival.
Oh, oops. Yeah, I didn't even realize.
I mean, that fits Perfect Mist, right?
Yeah.
100%.
You humiliate yourself in front of me, and I'm like, ha, I'm better.
Yeah, also, Perfect Mist has no idea about that this is happening, but probably Yorknan, you're very clued in. Yeah.
Perfect. I love it. I'll just quickly come up with a name
You have
for
Ling over in the corner just bringing up how Perfect Mist has embarrassed himself in front of you, and you're just like, haha, I'm better. And Perfect Mist is so in love.
Whoops.
Good old perfect mud.
Okay. Nice. By the way, do you have do you have an idea for what you want your order to be like, or just something?
Like off of the list of factions, or
Yeah, you could go by the list, or if you want to be like, if you have your own thing that you want to describe, I'm cool with that as well.
cool. Yeah. I mean, she's very much from her monastery, which is a very Shaolin-esque kind of place. Taught how to basically spirituality and fighting is kind of put into one. They're a very neutral group, really only protecting themselves. And if, political tensions start to rise too much, they kind of come in as like, all right, everyone, chill. Chill the F out. But normally they're very to themselves. And then they sometimes have to send out their students to go and learn about the world. Know why we need to have a balanced group to maintain that. I think you're muted, Matt.
Was this the actual the thing why your master sent you off? Because you obviously objected to being passed over for whatever Broken Dawn. Is that?
Yeah.
It's Broken Dawn's pronouns are?
He, him.
Yeah, okay. So when Broken Dawn decided to, I don't know, get involved like this, that didn't sit right with you?
No, and so I was basically being moody and being very unneutral about the situation. Just being like just talking in the corner.
So Broken Dawn was then like, what you need to learn, child. I think it's time for your traveling days.
Yeah. You need to go out and see that it's not all about you.
Yeah. Yes. Oh, just to check, Yorknan's pronouns are?
She, her.
Okay. Cool. All right. I think, yeah. I think let's start off with Yorknan. And I think as basically like our episode opens up, we see the fields of lavender all in bloom in the valley. We get this flight over them, and in the middle of the valley, there's this big estate with fortifications around it, and there's like a little town that has formed around it, and we see basically the banners of General Yu flying above them, and see like the busy streets, all the arrivals. The little town is kind of in uproar around it, and it's loud and noisy as we close in on that, and then we fly into basically gates that are opening up, and what's at the center of this little keep is a garden, though. And as we like with the camera fly into this garden, everything quiets down and everything comes way more idyllic, and we get an impression of the beauty of this garden. And I think we this is basically your arrival here, Yorknan, as you come in and walk into this garden to you know what the occasion is, so that's all known to you, and you've come back here after probably a couple of months of travel or something, as you do as a wandering monk. And I think I want to go around and paint the scene a little bit. So this exclusive center of the keep, this garden, I'd like a detail from each of you that kind of illustrates the beauty of the garden, and another detail that kind of conveys what feels almost mystical in here. And whoever has an idea can just jump in here.
There's a plane that is flying over my house every 5 minutes. So if you hear it, I apologize. I think there's a gazebo that's surrounded by like a koi pond. Because I just really love koi ponds. And I think it has lavender that goes up like the trellis of this gazebo. And I think that the koi are like not regular. So I think they're like just to keep in tone with like how mystical this is. I think they're very big, like almost I don't want to say supernaturally big, but they're like it's irregular how big these koi are.
And I think we see this as Jognan, as you're like crossing the bridge that leads to the gazebo, right?
Yeah.
Down in the waters, and it has this almost surreal way where you're thinking like, wait, is the water
like playing tricks
them
on
look
you?
this big? Yeah. I like that.
And I think they're not like there are some that are like have the traditional like orange and black colors of koi, but I think there's like some white ones that probably are albino colored, but I think there are some.
That's like it sounds like a biplane or something.
I don't know if they're spraying the fields or what, but it's terrifying. But I think there's like some that are like jade colored and emerald colored. I think they're like very mystical kind of fish. Yeah, I think and that catches your attention and you're like, this isn't normal, but it's just so beautiful. It doesn't really, it's a nice place to be. Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to add in that the gazebo and the pond are in the center of the garden, and surrounding it are plants and flowers of all different colors except for lavender. And they are so bright and vibrant that it seems surreal, like in the Wizard of Oz when you first go into Technicolor, and it's just like, it's so bright that you're not in the real world anymore.
I think that within this garden, there's a lot of along the walls themselves that kind of help to border this garden are kind of carved out almost windows out to the outside world, perfectly circular, and surrounding them is these kind of painted on bright red symbols and drawings that follow along the walls and the circles, which are very masterfully done, as if they were never painted on; they simply always existed. Um, and if you just kind of look at them the right way, they seem to shift. And you see these dragons, phoenix, Kirin, who kind of very subtly placed within these paintings.
This is like the additional walls around the garden inside the keep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nice. Yeah, I love that. That gives us there's a clear border to everything, and this is the inside. Yeah.
I think in the garden they were only able to get one persimmon tree to grow, and the fruits grow in like a lot redder than you would expect. And there's rumors about how they got that to grow there.
Oh. What are the rumors?
Well, rumors involving like weird occult things and blood and stuff.
Mm. What kind of tree was it?
Persimmon.
I had to look that up. Yeah, no. And is this the one tree that's like kind of in the backdrop of the gazebo?
Yeah.
On the other side, right? That's the one side where you approach the gazebo, and you have that, and in the back of it, I love
looking at that tree the whole time you're going towards the gazebo.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that's how we that's what we see when Yoknan, when you arrive, and I think we can. There's a group of 3 people who are seated in the gazebo, and it's General Yu who stands up first. General Yu with his very nicely dark and trimmed beard, and very formal posture that he always presents himself in. And his younger brothers there. What's like striking about Yi? And I think I want to ask this. I think this is a question for obviously Northwind Ling. What's the striking thing about Yi? If you need a moment, that's cool. I can describe the third person who's there.
He has a very long beard that he keeps like completely straight, and he takes really good care of.
Nice.
Does he like comb it sometimes when he's just bored? Like he just takes it out into the comb?
Probably, yeah. Probably has like a jade comb for it.
I love it.
Oh, it's cute.
I mean, yeah, definitely. That's like how we see him now, right? Sitting there and like, idly and slowly with a lot of care. Like it's not subconsciously, it's very attentively, but also no rush here, right? In the middle of the garden. And the third person we see there is was already standing, and is her name is Jian, and she's the daughter of the Ox Pilgrim Escort Bureau. She is basically the bride to be. And yeah, that's and she was standing and addressing them about something. And this is when you approach them, and General Yu stands up, and is there like a do you imagine there's like a honorary that you're used to being addressed by as a wandering monk?
As a wandering monk, they would know that she's not fully fledged yet. She's not a. So,
But you do get like
yeah. I'm trying to figure out what that title is. My brain. I know there's a word for it, and my brain is just like, what is it? Off the tip of my tongue.
yeah.
We'll go with acolyte for now. That I can think of.
Okay, well, we can also wait a moment. Maybe what happens is there's like an unusual break in formality with General Yu, as he's like, "Oh, you're gone." And then shakes himself and is like, "Welcome. You're back soon. It's only been a couple of months." And then he turns to his brother and smiles. "See, we're blessed what we're blessed with for your engagement."
And Shilton will just kind of incline her head. General, it's a bit sooner than I expected, but it seems the pathways have led their way back here.
Come, would you join us for tea? Jian was just about to join us as well, weren't you? And there's like this unspoken tension that you definitely notice right away between well, there's a question between who. It's definitely Jian and Yi, but it might just be a coldness and not tension.
Kind of note this, and this be again, respectfully have my eyes slightly downcast. If you would like me to join, I'd be more than honored to, General.
And I think it's as you say that, Jian, we see her close her eyes and turn a bit and then go, "It's very lovely to meet you, Acolyte, but I think I have to excuse myself." And takes like 2 steps backward before anyone can get another word in edgewise, turns on the spot. And General Yu kind of clears his voice and well, points to a place to sit, right, and sits back down again. Like this, it's like nicely laid out, right? There's neat little places and cushions on the floor here, and he kneels back down and invites you to join them. If there's something you want to do here, we can, or we can cut over to somewhere.
No, I think she'll just put her staff, lean it up against the wall, and just very carefully kneel, and give just a small smile to General Yu.
Mm-hmm. And I think that's when we cut over to a dark, cold place. No, we don't want to see what's going on with. I do though.
I'm scared.
With Chao Sung, and like I think what we cut into is we get the match cut like from the T Beering port in the gazebo. We get the match cut of T Beering port in a like lowly lit damp cellar, and we go from like a very from a very nice cup to this just wooden bowl, right? And you're being handed that wooden bowl of tea, and it's definitely like as you taste it, it feels good. It's clearing your mind. It's clearing the headache, and we know this voice. We know Sherrod Saber's voice, and he sits down in front of you and says, "Apologies, my pupil, for this rather unexpected summoning." And he gives like a little look over his shoulder, and they're the two twins standing at the back, the ones who kidnapped you, right? Mm-hmm. You've met Stone and Sorrow. Yes.
Why would you kidnap me if you wanted? I feel like I'm in the trenches and not in a room being kidnapped. Just sorry guys. It's great. This is great. Just fly. It's day to fly. If you wanted to summon me, you didn't have to kidnap me like this.
No, it's rather unusual, I know. But quite necessary. It is all a ruse.
What do you mean?
Giving you a meaningful look. And he says, well, I need you to do something.
What could you possibly need me to do that warrants this?
What it warrants, it's this way you've been removed from the board. No one will expect you. Now, you see, you know of Yi's wedding.
Of course.
And he stops. We have reason to believe there's a plot to assassinate General Yu.
And you want me to try to stop that?
Yes, you specifically. I need you to be the one who makes sure this doesn't come to pass. But I fear our opponent is cunning.
Do you have any idea who it might be? Any suspicion at all?
There's a short list of suspects, and I'm afraid to say there's definitely one that is a friend of yours.
Who? No one I know would try to. No, there's no way. Who are you speaking of?
He again looks over at Stone in sorrow for a bit, and then back at you. Well, North Windling might have a motivation, and she has the means.
Look, Northwind Ling is. She's impulsive, yes, but she would never murder someone. She's a good person. She's my dear friend.
She's also of the 100 Ghosts. And there's like this smirk that both Stone and Sorrow share. Like, yes, the 100 Ghosts. You might think of us as being innocent, but we can murder anyone in a second, right? That's what the smirk says.
I feel like...
Now, do not be hasty. Don't cast your judgment yet. Mine hasn't been cast either. You just should be aware. She's a candidate. But we do not know further motivations or who it is. All I need you to do is to make sure General Yu remains safe. And for this, I had to kidnap you.
I don't think that makes sense, but all right. I trust your judgment, Master.
And he nods and he pulls out this bundle and hands you that bundle. And it's obviously like a bundle of clothing. Mm-hmm. And as you like unwrap it and pull it open, I think we see you hold up what's like a uniform and a veil. That is and we do a match cut again here, I think, over to General Yoon's guards patrolling on one of the guard towers. And I think we see this like as a close-up, and then we get the cut of someone like lowering the looking glass, and we see Northwind Ling and Perfect Mist somewhere like along the road, looking like previewing of General Yu's keep there and the surrounding town. Because you two have also gotten there. Have you two talked about how you wanted to get in? Or is this a thing that's more concerning to Northwind Ling? Because Perfect Mist is just expecting to be let in.
I think Northwind Ling is already wearing a disguise.
Oh, you're wearing a disguise too? So we'll have Chao, yes, I love that. Chao Sung, disguised as one of the guards. And here's the thing, right, about this. If you're disguised, you're disguised. Everybody, it will pass. It's a perfect disguise until it isn't anymore.
Yeah,
What's your disguise?
I'm disguised as like a noblewoman from like the area. Someone that people like know already, so it's not really questioned that I'm there.
Mm-hmm.
So there's another one of me running around somewhere. I kind of imagined that I tried to get Perfect Mist to wear a disguise, but he just changed his shirt.
Well, knowing Perfect Mist, very likely he would probably have disguised himself as his dog and disguised the dog as him.
Oh no.
Why? Why? Why?
What's that look like? I'm sorry.
What's bad is it works too. Like it's understood that it works perfectly.
He's just got like, a furry vest and like dog ears. And meanwhile, like his dog has on like, Perfect Mist's hat and like just a shirt draped over its back.
Okay.
Yeah, this works. You can't tell that we're us, right?
Neither of you are recognizable as yourselves right now.
I'm also just picturing, Scooby-Doo and the plane from the Scooby-Doo movie when he's dressed up like the woman. That's also what I'm just picturing right now.
And I think you're disguised as what's a good name here?
Julie. That's a good name, right?
Really?
Yeah.
Lady Julie.
You want to put that in chat?
Forget how to spell it. I think it's just like, I think J-U space L-E-E.
So yeah. So your plan is basically just walking into the front door. It's just another one of the guests there.
Yeah, at least I figure that doing that is least likely to get us into a fight. And I'm not looking to fight people. My spear is disguised as a fancy walking stick.
So you've got like the sharp edge all wrapped up in.
There's like an ornate like figurehead of like a bird on top of the spike, and I clearly like took it off of a statue and just put it on the end of it of my spear. And I tied colored thread around the haft of the spear, so it's all colorful.
Nice.
All the way down.
Okay. Yeah, and this like how you're approaching, like then we see you like basically passing through the town, which is like has all the busyness of a town that a town has when someone notable gets married. And you're reaching the gate, and as you reach the so here's the thing, right? I think as you come up to the gate, I think Perfect Mist would have been let into either way. So we'll keep this open if this guy's passes muster or not. Because even if it didn't, you would have been let in.
I know. I'm just gonna go up and introduce myself, like, greetings. I have come to attend. This is my master, Perfect Dog, and I'm the pet, Miss.
Yes, and there's like a master of ceremonies, a scribe-looking person who's like taking notes and checking lists, right? And he's like, oh yes, please welcome. And he like waves over, and there's like some servant coming to basically greet you, and there's definitely like a welcome tea, and who will then like show you to your rooms and things like that, right? And as that master of ceremonies turns back, and who might you be, lady?
You know perfectly well who I am.
Oh. Well, oh, Lady Julie, yes. Well, you have already checked in. Is there something I can do for you?
Oh no, I just stepped outside for some air. It's stuffy in there. And she just and sort of shoves past the guy.
Yeah. He kind of looks like confused back down. Like outside is the busy and dirty town, and inside is like the place where everything is neat in the gardens. Then like there's a nice garden, right? Yeah. So this is how you get in, and you get shown like, well, Perfect Mist, you get shown your room, but Julie, you're just being led inside and obviously don't need an attendant right now. Also, no one really wants to tend to Lady Julie because she's kind of
rude.
Yeah.
And kind of a bitch, and that's exactly why Ling picked her.
What's your plan here, being here now? So I imagine, like, Perfect Mist, you're right, you're being shown your room, and that's just pleasant and nice at this point, right?
Yeah, but I'll probably like, let Northwind into the room with me. Like, meet me here.
So you're there discussing plans. What are you actually planning to do or wanting to find out, Northwind?
My plan is to find members of the 100 Ghosts, because I saw those tattoos and I need to keep an eye out for them and figure out what's going on.
You're still completely in the role of Julie.
Yeah.
As you're like explaining your plan to Perfect.
Just in case.
Perfect Dog, I'm sorry. Apologize. And how's this going to look like? Are you going to like be waiting for the night to break and then have like secret look around the fortifications?
I think that's less smart but more fun. So let's do that. And if anyone questions, we will still be in disguise, and we will pass it off as though we were having a romantic tryst that we were attempting to keep secrets.
Oh.
Okay. Yeah. I think this is going to be our first roll, and I think
Nothing will go wrong. It'll be perfect.
This would be basically to study, right? When you study something in order to change the game state. What would you be rolling with here, do you feel?
Probably water for awareness.
Yeah.
Boom, 12.
Hell
Nice.
yeah.
Yes. So let's read that. So when you study something in order to change the game state, roll. On a hit, you gain basic information. On a 10 plus, you also get to hold. On a 7 to 9, gain 1. And you can spend this 1 for 1 to ask a question about a situation or place. So escape routes, hidden details, threats, dangers. A question about a person. Learn a person's scale. Or reveal a detail. Declare something which changes or adds the established fiction significantly. So basically, you actually get to make up facts that I didn't prepare for, if you want to. But I'll let you think about this for a bit, because I think it might be time for like a break here. And then we can come back to that.
Okay, everyone, we're going to take a quick break, about 5 to 10 minutes. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. everybody. We're back. I'm going to just go ahead and hand it right back over to Matthias.
Yeah. So we see Northwindling disguised as Lady Julie stalk around the compound, ready to give anyone lip who dares to disturb her night's walk. And one thing you definitely notice is it's only ostensibly quiet and everybody's asleep. Actually, it's super busy. There's multiple other people up and about at night. There's definitely one figure who you've seen basically tightrope atop the garden wall, and then jump off of the garden wall to the roofs of the fortifications. And there's also from basically the other wing, two other figures moving in the night, I think, and you see them part ways, and a little bit later you see them again on rooftops and meeting up atop a guard tower. And then there are also the guards who are keeping watch, who we know one among them is Chao Song.
I think Ling will find a place beneath the guard tower that's not really being watched. Sort of look around and sort of like find like a corner between like two walls and just sort of push off from one to the other to get up to the top of the guard tower. And like sort of scrambling, finding handholds the last bit of the way to get up to the top of the guard tower and sort of peek over the edge at the two people there.
Yeah, and one of the two figures meeting up atop here is definitely General Yu. The question is the other Nan?
Yeah, she's probably there.
Because right atop the guard tower, this is where two Wulin who wanted to have a private conversation would meet up unseen.
They weren't very good at it if they got seen.
Well, by another Wulin. So.
Well, I guess Northwindling is just that amazing.
We did establish that.
Yeah,
session.
I mean, you did roll your 10+ there. And remember, you have 2 holes that you can spend to either ask questions or learn something or reveal something. For now, we know you're hanging onto the side of the guard tower.
Still disguised.
Still disguised, which will beg questions, though, if you're found hanging as Lady Julia. And I think, and of course, like the moon is bright and gives us like this cool lighting atop the guard tower. Everything in this is steeped in this light blue. In general, Yu is looking off into the distance, arms crossed behind his back. But he says, "It's good to see you. though truly unexpected, this soon again.
I would say that's a bad thing.
No, not at all. Just things are a bit tense, and but I'm glad you're here. And he turns towards you. And I think he extends his hands. Looking to see if you would put them, your hands into his.
Yeah, she does.
And he says, sometimes time is way too short, and then again, way too long.
Always perspective.
Indeed.
Is there any way I can lift the trouble from your shoulders? You've been quite weighed down with them since I've entered into the garden.
Well, I fear there is something afoot. And it's not just the trouble that I sense in Jian. This marriage would be very good for the peace of the land. But I'm not sure about her motivations.
It is certainly hard to know other people, especially in circumstances like this.
Yes, indeed. I know Yin. He will do. He will meet and meet his duty. I have no fear about that. At least something I can trust in my younger brother. I think this is when you, Northwindling, you notice there's another person climbing the tower. Maybe this is the other figure you saw.
Can I make out who it is?
You would either need to keep creep closer, and you might be discovered yourself by them, or you can always spend a hold here to just ask me that question, right?
How many
You
holds?
have two.
Okay. I'm going to use one to get an answer to that.
The other person who I think you see, who's now perched on what's basically a windowsill, right? Has like she has this long flowing hair, and I think it's this long red flowing hair actually, which is it's very strange. And then we see her turn and reveal her face in the moonlight, and we all recognize her as the bride to be, as Gian, as the one. She didn't have red hair when we saw her earlier, but she does now. What else catches your eye about her?
I think I might recognize her as my cousin.
Yes, you do.
Yeah. I think she is probably. I think what most people don't know about my character is she is actually the daughter of the leader of the 100 Ghosts, and my father's brother wants to usurp that position, and he wants to use political ties and marriages to attain that goal.
Okay. Also, Gian is ostensibly a daughter of another faction, though. At least that's what she's been presented as.
I mean, people get around.
Mm-hmm. What do you do with this information?
Fuck, I don't know.
Well, we can turn back to what's happening atop the guard tower.
I'm gonna keep an eye on her to make sure she doesn't do a murder. Because I am afraid of murder. Okay, go back to the top of the guard tower.
I think this is pause with General Yu. He looks at you for a long time, doesn't say anything. And then inclines his head. This is not the time, I feel. And we're not quite sure if he's like trying to dissuade you, soothe you, or trying to be like, no, please convince me that it is time.
Ooh, that's interesting. um, I'm going to, kind of holding his hands, taking a half a step closer and look up at him. Time is always of perspective. Of course, I trust your judgment, you.
What are you trying to decide here? What do you feel she's doing with this?
What do you mean? Like, what is?
I mean, in the sense of, oh, well, wait, let's see. And I think he burrows his brows and looks back at you, trying to puzzle you out. And he says, Indeed. Indeed. I think he moves to take a step back and let go of your hands. If you also let go. Do you?
So squeeze his hand and then let go.
And he steps up to the edge and gives you one look over his shoulder, and then flies off the edge down into the compound again. You're left alone atop the tower.
Except Lady Julie is standing next to you.
Good evening, my lady.
You should have kissed him.
I am. Well, just kind of looks down at
Look,
them.
I don't like him. I don't trust him. But I mean, you gotta take what moments you can. You know.
I mean, yes. Just looking at this old lady that just suddenly appeared.
I almost want Perfect Dog to appear too. Perfect Dog puts a paw on her shoulder.
I want to say that Chow Sung also comes in. I'm sorry, have you seen the general? Oh. I guess you... Have you seen the general?
Yeah, he was just here. They were gonna make out, but then they didn't. It was very disappointing.
He's alive?
Yeah.
Okay. And she's just gonna turn and walk out, still in disguise, just like a guard.
If you excuse me, my lady, I must go
Yeah, I was just about to,
meditate.
I just was about to say, but you're actually going to flee the scene here. Is that correct? Otherwise,
she's like, "What's going on? I don't understand. I'm gonna leave."
Oh, Ling's like, oh, the disguise. She like hand waves, and you can see it's Ling. Hey, it's me.
Oh my god.
yes. Now I want to have you roll for inner conflict. When you come face to face with emotional turmoil and pressure from one of your entanglements, roll anything but your style element. So now you may choose anything but your style element to roll.
Is this for me or?
Yeah, this is for you. This is your entanglement that you're being like confronted with.
Okay, and anything but my style element. I think this is probably a Earth being focus and presence at the moment. Doesn't want to be here. So that's a 0, 9.
Nice. So on a 7 to 9, you must either flee the scene or mark a chi until you make a change in the entanglement.
Yeah, I'm running away. Make an excuse. I'm gonna go meditate, do monk things. Yep. See ya.
And are you like flying across the roofs, or where are you going?
Yeah, I did kind of again pick up my staff again and just
Run.
run.
Back in
Nothing.
disguise.
Okay, and you let her.
Yeah. I'm like, Come on, Perfect Mud. Let's go follow that general. Yeah.
I
You want a Misty snack? You want a Misty snack?
I think Chow Sung is also like trying to tell the general, keeping her distance. She doesn't know how to really act like a guard, but she's doing her best. She's probably too timid to really be a guard, but like she's trailing after him as much as she can.
Yeah, and I think this is kind of perfect because you don't have to be secretive about. Well, because once he's back down the compound, it's expected that a guard would fall in behind General Yu, right? But I think this does trigger impress when you act to impress others or succeed at competition. Describe your performance and role.
Okay.
To see how well you pass as a guard.
Okay.
To his muster. Yeah.
Okay. I think I'll be rolling with probably. I'm gonna say wood because I think she's being very patient about how she's doing it. Like she's taking her time to try to fit in. 9.
Okay. On a hit, you impress and convince. Pick 2 options: create a bond, clear a G, or gain a favor.
Would I create the bond with the general? Would that be what the bond is?
I think so.
That makes sense. That makes sense to me.
I think so too. I think what we get is this typical scene. You know, when you have like someone in a supervising role, and there's like this subservient person that follows them, that they start talking to them of their troubles in the middle of the night.
Create a bond, yeah.
Yeah. And I think he, as he walks back towards his quarters, there's this point where he's about to enter the building again, right? Where he sighs and turns around, and like not even like looking at you directly or like accepting your presence there, but he starts talking, and he says, "How can it be so difficult with her? I do not understand."
Is there anything I can help you with, General?
And yeah, I think this is where the hard bargain comes in. Because you're breaking the rules of formality here.
Oh, yeah,
like the guard is not supposed to comment if like the general starts like rambling off about his thoughts, especially not about his feelings.
Yeah, and Chow didn't think that through.
And I think he looks at you and he says, "You, what is your name?"
Hold on, I have to find a fake name real quick. I didn't think this through.
Bob.
Bob.
Bob the guard.
My name is Ming.
Ming, have you ever been in love?
Once. I think I still might be in love, but that's neither here nor there.
Would you? And who's the one who's caught your heart? And I think he's expecting like a guard to not like be able to say this. And the hard bargain is like I want him to know. Basically, I want to hear the truth.
Yeah, and I don't think Chow cares really. Just this is the general. He's a musician.
A musician? Of what kind?
He plays music beautifully. He's an artist. He practiced with me growing up. And I didn't love him when I was growing up. But now I do, and it's too late.
Oh, a sad story. What is his name?
Min.
Min. Why not? Surely not that Min.
Do you know of a Min who plays music?
Well, yes. He'll be performing at the ceremony.
Well, it's probably one and the same, but it doesn't matter because he loves someone else.
Well, count yourself lucky. I mean, and he puts out arm and touches your shoulder, right? Grabs your shoulder, and says, "You'll be at my side at the ceremony tomorrow. I'll make sure of that. You will have prime, standing position to watch him play once more."
What an honor. If it's not overstepping my boundaries, can I give you a piece of advice, General?
What do you want to go for here?
I mean...
Oh, what's the advice? Because he hesitates, so there's this opening where you can give him his advice. He's not yet offended.
Okay. I don't know if it would be hearts and mind, because I don't
know what you say. Yeah.
I don't think he's susceptible to my words.
At this moment, at this situation right now, he would be. Potentially. I don't know what your words are. Maybe let's hear them first.
Don't hesitate, because when the time for love is gone, it's gone. And it could be gone for good. You shouldn't wait.
No, that's definitely hearts and minds.
Okay. I had to figure out what I'm going to roll with. Yeah, I'm going to roll with metal. Because that's control, calculation, and reflection. Oh, 13.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yes. So when you pressure someone susceptible to your words, say what you're trying to get them to do. And I think let's be clear here in your intention.
I want him to tell whoever he loves that he loves them.
Okay.
And be with them. Yep.
For NPCs on a 10+, they bow to your words and do what you want. Perfect.
I love stirring the pot.
And I think he looks at you like utterly befuddled in this moment, right? And taken aback and speechless. And that's when I think that's when the door that you're at actually open. So the moment is broken, right? there's no thing there for him to respond.
Yeah, I think
but
she
back-
just she snaps back into guard position.
Yeah,
snaps back
into
to
that
attention.
position.
Yeah.
Yes. What's happening back up at the tower? Is there more? You still have a hole to spend this night, right? So
well, Ling was going to go follow General Yu, but then she told Perfect Dog to follow him, and then she's probably gonna sneak off to check on Yin.
Oh, then it's also Perfect Dog who's opening the door and breaking that moment.
Yes, the dog is.
The dog is.
Yes.
Yes, thank you, because I get confused.
Dog.
So the door opens and you snap to attention, Josung, and General Yu is looks over and then down, and there's the dog.
Can I add something?
Of course.
And I have pinned a note to the dog's shirt that is for General Yu, and inside it's basically says, like, I know about your tryst with the monk. Call off the wedding, or else everyone will know.
Yeah, Perfect Dog would just stroll right up and then pause to reveal the note.
And what are you trying to get out of this?
Trying to get the wedding called off.
Yeah, I mean, this is also Hearts and Minds.
Yeah, and I can hearts and minds anyone because I'm a trickster.
Yeah, so yes, you actually have a move that gives us perfect justification for having this note.
Yeah, this is probably done with fire, honestly. Creativity, speed, passion.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's not mess up. 9.
Okay, on a 7 to 9, they can instead choose to reveal, overreact, hesitate, or alienate. And I get to choose here.
But could I use my 100 Ghost bond and have like the 100 Ghost insignia on the letter to bump it up to a 10?
Yes, you can. Like you can use a bond after the fact to add a +1 to roll.
And would the 10 would make it like top-notch success?
Yes.
Yes. I'm doing it. Causing all sorts of trouble in the noble families. Secret Princess Kung Fu Hobo strikes again.
That is the best character description of anything ever.
Yeah.
Secret Princess Hobo.
And I think he takes the note and Cho Sung, you like definitely notice like the expression of utter shock on his face.
Am I near him?
Yes, you still like it's a situation at the door where you snap back into attention, and then there's this dog who delivered a message.
But I know that's
you think
perfect
that
miss. I know that's perfect miss dog.
No, you think it's perfect miss because the dog's disguised as perfect miss.
Gotcha. Yeah,
I don't think so. Oh, go ahead.
I'm just standing there like watching, my eyes just darting back and forth. Is there any way I could like?
Oh, and since the dog is disguised as perfect mist, you thinks that's perfect mist too, and Perfect Mist had previously rejected you.
Would the dog, with his sense of smell, be able to tell that's Chao Sung or not?
I mean,
This is the best game.
this game is so
no.
good.
Stopped him before.
It works both ways, right? That disguise. It's perfect.
Is there any
So
way? How close
yeah.
am I to the general? Could I like lean
I mean,
forward
you were
and
just
see?
yeah. He's standing in front of the door. You're being the guard at the side of the door.
Right
Could
now,
I
Perfect Mist is licking the general's hand.
Could I see what the note says?
Sure, if you want to. I don't think anyone is going to contest that.
Yeah, she just sees the note and her eyes get really big. And
However, if the wedding isn't happening, how are you going to find the actual assassin
yeah.
and foil that plot?
She looks at the general. Point of order, sir, if you don't mind me saying something one more time. I don't think you should bend to people who want you to do what they say. You're the general. Your word is the last word that matters, and you know, you if you want to go through with this wedding, then that's what should happen. She just she just puts her head, hangs her head. Because she spoke out of order again.
Well, and yeah, and he's like, well, yes, indeed. I am general. My word is what goes. There will be a wedding. It won't be Jens. This is where we cut.
What? What? Matthias, what?
Yo, it's Kika rolled a 10 plus.
Yeah.
Well, we're at 2
So
hours.
both
If you
things
wanna,
need to come.
you want to take a quick break, we're at 2 hours.
I think I need a quick break, so because I don't know what's gonna happen now.
Well,
This is what happens when you invite me to games.
I love it's so good. Well, guys, we'll be right back for whatever the fuck this is. We'll be
The
right
best
back.
soap opera.
Yeah.
Break into Perfect Mist's quarters for some secret nighttime rendezvous.
Hi, we're live. This is what we were talking about. Sorry, I was like in the middle of going live.
No, it's the perfect cold open.
It really is. That's our plans, guys. Okay, Matthias, take it away.
I mean, right, especially, yes, because Chao Sung still needs to recover her sword, her what's it called? You have a name, right?
Heaven's Sword and Dragon Saber.
Yeah.
I'm stealing it from the move because I really liked it.
And
Yeah, if I see that perfect mist, does it
does it
have the
it doesn't
Go ahead.
It doesn't really matter because I think you kind of know. It doesn't really matter if you're thinking this is perfect mist or this is dark, because when you know one is out and about, the other one is as well. So you know that his quarters are currently not occupied, so you could get in there.
Yeah, I think she would, when the general is like occupied with I'm gonna plan a wedding, she's going to try to slip away and go find Perfect Mist's quarters and try to find her sword.
Yeah, so the general doesn't say this out loud. What he said is like, there's gonna be a wedding.
Yeah.
Or an engagement, and stomps off. So that's one thing that's happening. Yeah, but you need to kind of break character from your guard if you want to go like scrambling up the sides of a building and stealing yourself
I think
into some quarters.
I think she would stash her guard uniform, and like stash it somewhere safe that she could do this real quick and then put it back on if need be.
Yeah.
Because I'm pretty sure she has something on underneath the guard uniform. It's just, she'd take off enough that it doesn't alarm any suspicions.
Yeah.
Yeah, Perfect Dog's just gonna ollie out now.
Definitely. That's gonna be an overcome.
Okay.
To establish that. Don't roll yet.
Okay.
What's North Windling up to?
She, in her disguise, has gone to Yin's room and is knocking on the door like the busybody Julie she is.
And yeah, I think it takes a moment, and the door opens, and in basically night garments clothed Yin opens the door and is like, was already asleep apparently, and he's yes, Lady Julie, what?
Give your aunt a hug. And she goes in and hugs him and pushes them both into the room and closes the door behind her. And then the second they're in, the disguise is off.
And he jumps back in surprise, and
just the disguise just falls off like into a pile of clothes around her.
Oh. And he's North Windling.
Hi.
What are you doing here? If my brother sees you,
what, you're getting married and you don't invite me? I'm hurt.
And he like turns away to basically respect your decency. Right?
I wasn't saying she was naked underneath that.
Oh, that's what it sounded like. Everything.
She's just mostly naked.
Yes. Well, I think he still turns away embarrassed, and or well, probably not embarrassed, but
He's never seen her so clean before.
yes. And like completely overwhelmed with the situation, and he's like, I'm so sorry. And you can see like that he's like trying to regain some composure, and it turns back around, doesn't look at you. I have my duty, Northwindling. If my brother finds you here.
Oh, your brother couldn't find his glasses on his own nose. I've been in front of him 3 times and he hasn't noticed. Just today.
You.
Me or your brother?
No. You, Northwindling. Still, what are you doing here?
Honestly, she sort of, her posture changes and is just all previous confidence that she typically has just disappears, and she hunches over a little bit and like, honestly, I heard news about you getting married and I didn't really know how to handle that information. And seeing you was the only thing I could think of doing.
And he takes a step closer, and he says, but you know, I can't. This is for my family. And you of the 100 Ghosts.
Yeah, well, about that, I saw your bride-to-be, and I need to let you know that that's my cousin.
He looks even more shocked and well, it can't be. Can it? Jian? Jian is a daughter of the Pox Pilgrim Escort Bureau.
Yeah, well, I mean, everyone's related to someone.
But her allegiances, I mean, I'm sorry. This is talking politics again. It is so good to see you.
It's good to see you too. She laughs nervously.
And he takes a step closer and wants to take your head into his hands.
Yeah, she'll let him do that.
Will you?
Yeah.
Because I think you're coming into face to face with an entanglement here.
Oh no, oh no, oh no. But first, I want to use my thing.
Yeah.
And I will straight up ask him if he truly loves me. Staring him straight in the eye as I ask.
Oh, yes, of course. And that's why this is definitely triggering your inner conflict.
Yes, but I need an answer.
Northwind Link. I always have and always will.
I think I need to roll now. Inner conflict. I'm not sure what to use for this. Water for flexibility.
We broke Matthias.
9.
Oh wow, okay. All right. So on a 7 to 9, you must choose. Either flee the scene or mark Chi until you make a change in the entanglement.
I'm gonna mark Chi.
And that'll be water.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's. I think that's when he kisses you.
Yay! We do a kiss. This is like the limit to my knowledge in role playing these sorts of situations.
Yeah, we fade to black here, right? Or we the camera pans over to show like the view on the nightly gardens, and on the other side we see like a figure scrambling up the walls.
Oh no! It's Spider-Man.
Nobody knows how to use the front door anymore.
I use the door.
Yep.
Do you want me to roll now?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm rolling overcome, right?
Yes.
Okay, what am I gonna roll with? I'm gonna roll with metal because it's control calculation. She's trying to actually make it up. Ooh, that's an 8.
So on a 7 to 9, on overcome.
Worst outcome, a hard bargain, or ugly choice.
Yes.
I don't like it.
So here's what happens. You tell me how you actually approach Perfect Mist's quarters. Like what's your angle, where you're coming from, up to the point before you would just enter his room.
I think that Chao Sung is just jumping from window ledge to window ledge. Is just using her force to just jump, grab on the window ledge, grab on the next window ledge, and it's just trying to get a hold of each window ledge to get to. And she's like peeking up to see if maybe this is Perfect Mist's room because she doesn't know. She would have no idea.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so I think what you get there, and as you like slowly pull yourself up over the ledge, and you peer into the room. Well, here's a question for you, Perfect Mist. How would Charles actually recognize that it's your room?
Everything's broken.
Probably. it is probably a mess. They his friends know that he is not really a tidy person. That's why he has his hurricane of secret ninjas, so he's cleaning up after him.
We've been like here for half a day.
Yeah, he wasn't even in the room long, and it's already destroyed.
Not only trash, but there's dog fur everywhere.
And you see, as you pull yourself up, and you like immediately recognize the signs that are just perfect signs of like, this is his room, right? But there's also yet again a figure who's tiptoeing around the tiptoeing around the mess left in the room, and like approaching the door and like peering out the door into the hallway. And in the other hand, they have your sword. They're about to like disappear. Like they could.
She's jumping up and just stop. That's not your sword. She's not doing something.
Yeah. And the and the person flies around and like in their turn basically has their like draws your sword. What kind of weapon did you take with you, by the way? Did you even take a weapon? You don't have to.
She
Doesn't
probably
give you
kept the. I would say she kept like the just guard sword, so it's not anything special. So she probably just has the guard sword with her, but that it's not anything. It's not a special weapon or anything. It's probably just a little short sword.
Yeah, and the figure whirls around and is like, Chao Sung, what are you doing here?
Do I know them?
Oh yeah. It's Jian.
What? She's everywhere.
No matter. You're not going to tell anyone I've been here. Also? Oh, that's why you're here. And she attacks you.
God damn it.
What do you imagine this fight to be like? Is this a fight where we're like, so first of all, she's your scale. So it's gonna be a scale on scale fight. Is this fight looking like where it's constantly the one who has the sword has the upper hand? It's always about disarming the other one, and then and the other one's then left with the scrappy guard short sword that probably gets cut in half at some point during the fight.
So I imagine that when she goes to attack me, I know my own sword better than she does, so I probably know. I don't think she knows how to wield it as well as I do, so I'm probably able to dodge her a little bit, but she's still a worthy foe because we're on the same scale. Like she still knows how to fight. So I think.
Oh, and she fights dirty, and there's so much mess around here.
Yeah. I imagine so. And Chao Sung doesn't fight dirty, so she's at the odds for that.
Yeah.
So.
Like there's definitely the point where where there's like a handful of dark hair that gets thrown into your face.
Chao Sung has a sneezing fit, 100%. And I think that there comes a point where the goal of this, Chao Sung does not want to kill her. she wants to incapacitate her so she can take her to the general. So that's the goal. She doesn't want to kill her.
Mm-hmm. Well,
And
we'll
she
see
wants to
how
get her
this
sword
goes.
back.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll have to roll for it. But that's my goal.
Yeah. You're not fighting to kill here.
Yeah,
You're
Helsing
fighting
doesn't
to
want to kill.
apprehend.
I almost want like Perfect Mist to come back in the middle of this, open the door, see two ladies fighting, and just slowly close
Slowly
the door.
close the door and walk away. This isn't my business.
Well, it's my room, but I'll just patiently wait out here till they're done.
You know what else happens?
What?
The trickster Northwind Ling bursts in through the window with her spear at the ready because of her have sword will travel move.
Woo!
Well, I would suggest we see first how this goes, because there might not be the thing where Xiao Song needs help. Also, aren't you busy with something else right now?
But it says helps ignoring usual limits of time, distance, and plausibility.
Ling just sits up.
That
like,
is true.
someone needs me. I'll be right back.
She appears still half naked.
Yep, still mostly naked. Okay,
Everything's very disheveled.
Let's find out if she
let's
actually
hope this
needs help.
works.
first.
Oh, that's a 6.
She needs help.
I need help.
Well, we'll see. So, when you fight against a worthy foe, roll plus style element. If your foe is your scale, yes. So, here's a thing that's going to happen. So,
Guys, I've lost both fights I've been in.
I'll go in and help too.
let's take this one step at a time.
Everyone's helping.
Because we're friends.
Is there anything I can do to get that up to a 7, Matthias?
Well, spend if you have a bond to burn, but you might.
General you.
That's what I was thinking of doing, Matthias. Could I make that make narrative sense somehow? I want to do it, but I don't know how that would make sense for him to burst into Perfect Mist's room.
Well, the fight might move outside into the hallway,
Okay.
and or alongside the because in a way, I think for Jian there's this thing where I can either kill you or get away with a sword or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And there's definitely like a certain chase element to this. So maybe this goes outside, or actually like outside of the window, and you manage to catch her, follow her, then you take the sword again, and you fly into into the general's room, who you just saw, but he didn't know that it was you.
Yeah, because I like the 7 to 9 option of deadlock with your opponent. You may reveal or learn something about them. I like that. So
Okay.
if I could burn that bond with General Yu, that would be great. And make that
How
7.
do you think this comes to pass, though? This deadlock.
I think they end up in General Yu's like quarters or his study, wherever he's like beginning to plan this engagement, wedding, whatever. And I think they're both locked. I think like so. She has a sword at Chao's neck, but Chao is like holding on to her so it can't actually hit her. She's like trying to force her off with her strength. And when they burst in, she just yells for the general, and is like, she's just like, I was told to protect you. I think this is an assassin trying to kill you.
All right. Yes.
Does she have the red hair going right now?
Yes, she does.
Just flying out.
Yes. So, So you basically end up both at the edge of the two swords being used here, and probably the guard sword has broken, but its sharp edge tip is at your throat, while you have your sword at her throat.
Mm-hmm.
And the general used like yelling for the guards, and this is when North Windling appears.
Oh no! Hi. And I'm
But
not in
first-
disguise anymore.
Yeah, you may reveal or learn something about them. Oh, I think you definitely like in the fighting you notice. Right, we established the 100 ghosts have special tattoos that someone in the know might recognize them by.
So she
So
has
you-
one.
Yes.
Is there any way that I can sort of switch our positions and like reveal it and be like, "Look, here's the proof," and just show
It's revealed to you, and now you're in the deadlock.
Okay.
Yeah. And that's, I think, if you want to appear here, North Windling, you can be the one.
Yeah, I think I want just half of my spear to go over her head and pull back against her neck, if that's okay.
Yeah, and that okay, so nice. Yes. Yes, that resolves the deadlock. And what do you say, or what do you do? Because you've got her in a hold there, right?
Oh, fancy meeting you here, cousin. Didn't know you were in town.
North Windling, I should have known you'd be about.
Oh, I always am.
Yes, especially if it's anything concerning Yin.
Well,
Isn't
I
it?
mean, if you didn't expect me, then I'd say that that's a failing on your part.
Why would you get involved in here, though? And she's still like dagger eyeing you, Chao Sung.
Because I like how many people are in the like it would be how many people are in the room?
Like, there's only a couple of seconds until the guards will arrive, and it's just you three.
What about General Yu?
He went outside to call for the guards
Okay.
because that's their job. Like, he's not actually being attacked himself.
I think she would probably say very loudly and angrily that I would die before letting anything bad happen to Yin, and I can't think of a fate worse than death more than marrying you. You being my cousin, not General Yu.
Well, if you took
And there goes Kiana.
if you took your responsibilities towards your family more serious,
Like what? I'd be going around murdering people?
what are you saying, cousin?
I mean, it's not like you don't have a reputation.
We have a reputation to uphold, remember? Remember where you come from.
Oh, well, I mean, everyone comes from somewhere, but that's not necessarily where they're going.
So, will you let me go now? Or are you planning to disgrace us entirely by handing me over? That will reveal that you are here too. And we can hear like the marching, running steps of guards that are approaching.
I think Chow gets close and she gets her swords back. You can go, Ling, and I'll take care of this. You don't have to be involved.
I need to make sure that Jin stays safe, no matter what.
Then go to him and take care of him, and I'll make sure she's captured.
Yeah. Is there something I can roll to decide what I'm gonna do?
To decide what you're going to do.
Yeah, I have no clue.
Oh, you don't need to, because you the tension and this decision, teetering on the edge of decision, is broken by a scream. A scream you recognize as Yin's.
Holy shit, I go. Immediately.
So yeah, Northwind Ling like immediately flies out the window.
Can I knock what's her name out with the hilt of my sword?
Yes, I think you can.
Okay.
Or yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna knock her out and then like pull her up against a wall, and like maybe find some like some strings on drapes or something and tie her hands up.
Mm-hmm. And I think I think that's fine. I want to cut back and well, first, Perfect Miss, is there something you wanted to do this night, or are you just being like in every instance the showing up as a witness to what's happening, or how do you feel? Oh yeah, exactly. Maybe, and because my other question would be for Kiana, where would Yognan go to meditate?
Probably out to the garden.
Yes, and I think I like this idea. Maybe Perfect Miss, that you're well, there's all this kerfuffle going on, like in the surrounding buildings. Down here, it's at least quiet. Like nothing's going on.
Yeah, so when I opened my door and saw the ladies fighting in there, I'll just be like, okay, I'll come back later, and close the door and just kind of like walk away.
Yeah, and you walked away and you went down one level, and as you reached the level below, the fight had moved on to there, and General, you came running out and yelling for the guards, right? So
it's not my problem.
Yep. So that's how I think you ended up in the garden, where it's actually quiet and pleasant and nice.
Yeah, and when I see Duke Lan out there, first I'm gonna make sure there's no mud around.
No, the garden is held in pristine condition.
Second, I am still dressed as dog, so I will find a beautiful flower, pick it, put it in my teeth, and just kind of stroll up to her. Rush. Like maybe put one hand on her shoulder.
So Yuglan is currently like it's sitting right by the koi pond, like legs crossed, when this dog? Just and she had like her eyes closed, the staff like resting across her crossed legs. She looks at the dog and just hello. Kind of pet. Not really knowing how to deal with animals like pets, the dog said.
And he'll wag his butt and be like, and drop the flower into her lap. Come back to me.
She looks at the flower and it's like, thank you.
The biggest puppy eyes at you, and then like he'll sprawl himself across your lap. Oh, oh, belly rub. I'm sorry, I just broke the game.
Again, it kind of feels like your clone has no idea how to deal with animals, so she's kind of just like, okay. Very odd pats.
Pat in my belly? Yes? On a side note, this probably is how Perfect Miss would flirt, even if you weren't a dog.
Yes. I think the deciding question here is, will this stuff just stay an encounter with dog for Yugnan, or will you reveal yourself? Because if you would actually want to reveal yourself, you're definitely going to face inner conflict here.
I kind of want to say yes.
Well, let's see if you do. So
I have to pick one of the things to roll, right?
yeah, you pick one of the G's.
I will pick fire for passion. Oh.
Nice. Perfect. 10 plus.
So while
You can't beat this.
While he's sprawled in the lap, he's just gonna boom the skies off. My love, 'tis I.
What? So the peacefulness of this garden has been broken by the screech of indignation. She basically just stands up.
Just flop onto the ground. Yes, I know. It is a surprise that your beautiful puppy lover is actually me.
Yeah. Why are you here? Why were you disguised as a dog? Why did you decide it was appropriate to come and interrupt our meditation time?
That's a secret. That's a secret because you.
And she'll kind of just snatch up her staff, which had kind of fallen down on the ground. And it's like just kind of put the end of it right on Perfect Mist's chest.
I get like pinned down. And I'm like, oh, well, if you want to do things this way, I'm fine with that.
And I think that's when you hear a voice call out from across the gazebo. Jagnan?
I'm gonna turn.
Perfect mist? It's
Yes.
General Yu.
No.
And this is where we cut.
No.
Yes. I live for the drama.
Yeah.
Yes.
Nice.
So good.
Thank you all. There's a little bit of end of session stuff, which is super easy. We'll remember this time. You all get XP. You get 2 XP if you engaged with one of your entanglements.
I did.
And you get an additional XP if you engage with the other entanglement as well. I think you all engage with one entanglement. Like, I don't think that's a question here.
Okay. Cool.
But did anybody engage with both of their entanglements?
I don't think so. I didn't, at least.
Cool. Yeah, so this has been episode 2 of our game Hearts of Wulin, a Powered by the Apocalypse wushu melodrama game by Lowell Francis. That's going to be kickstarted, I think, early next year. You'll hear all about it when it gets there. Thank you, everybody. This was a ton of fun, and I'm not planning anything for how this is going to go, but I think we'll get to see another fight at the beginning of next time.
There will be at least 3 weddings. You should come by, check them out.
Let's go around and say who we are, where we can find you, anything you want to plug. Start with Kika.
Yo, I'm Kika. You can find me on Twitter at twitter.com/KikaVO and sometimes on Twitch, but not always at twitch.tv/KKKA. But Twitter is the best place to follow me because I'm on a lot of different streams and I usually retweets the tweets for the streams that I'm on. And also, you can find me at PAX Unplugged this upcoming weekend, where I'll be running 2 panels, one on lore in Dungeons & Dragons and one on transgender narratives in tabletop gaming. So come and check them out if you're there.
I wish I could see those panels. Kiana.
Hi. I am Kiana. You guys can find me over on Twitter at KianaS. Best way to figure out what I'm doing, because I'm all over the internet playing role-playing games almost every day of the week. But I will be at PAX next week, and I'm actually going to be running some games for Magpie Games official. So that's super exciting. So you can come and hang out with me, and super excited to be there.
Starliday.
Hi, I'm Starliday on Twitch and Alcor the Demon on Twitter. I am not going to PAX, but you can find me Wednesday nights. I'm in a long-running D&D game, 7 to 10 p.m. on PST, Pacific Standard Time. Yes, that is the zone I'm in.
Time zones aren't real.
Wait, where am I again?
Matthias?
Hi, you can find me at MTHSBLGR on Twitter, and on Tuesday on Pro Restarters channel, where I'm playing a very strange and weird angel in an Apocalypse World game. So that's like complex, weird polyhedrals time. And on Thursday, it's complex sad polyhedral time for our game of Monster Hearts on Sophie Mai's channel.
I'm Katie. You know where to find me because this is my channel. Thank you all so much for playing, and thank you, Matthias, for running this. We have one more session left. We will try to work that out with PAX because it's going to be very busy. People coming back from PAX. We'll try to get that done. But we're going to send a raid over to the RPG Lab and get them some good viewership. But thank you all for watching. We love you so much. And we're done. Bye.